I'm Doug Coyle. I'm here with Pat Moroney, New Jersey Invitational Select Side head coach. Pat, yeah, hi. Nice to see you again. Pat, I know you for many years. You've was a shadow coach with.
I shadowed the Ireland team in 2017. So what they do when Ireland comes over is there's local liaisons. So basically it was an incredible opportunity because the liaison, you try and sort out some of their logistics. They have two permanent liaisons, and then you do all the local stuff. That's as simple as finding them. I had to find them a scaffold for them to film. But the opportunity it gave me in return is that I was inside the camp and got to see their practices, which was, really, really an incredible experience. Obviously, Joe Schmidt is leaving after the World Cup, so I got to see him 2017 up close, and the way he operated and the way they operated as a group, and it was really interesting. And you really saw the precision that that group of athletes and coaches work within. So when they go out onto the pitch for a practice, there's no dead space because they know exactly what they're doing.
You also got to go to the UK with through the Friends of the British Council and the Premiership Rugby.
Yeah, that was an incredible experience, and one of the things, the rugby experience while we were there was spectacular. We got to see Saracens up close. We got to see their captains run before they played Harlequins, and then we got to see them and Harlequins play in the Olympic Stadium. So it's West Ham Soccer Club's home ground, and each year Saracens play one game there, and it was spectacular. It was absolutely superb. The Saracens coaches and athletes were great to us, and then all the community coaches were spectacular as well. We had a day with the London Irish, and that was really wonderful because that was a different kind of a day where we were in the classroom workshopping a game, doing some video analysis, and then we were with the coaches on the pitch. And then the Harlequins coaches, their community coaches, spent a day with us. Unfortunately, when we arrived, the first day was frosty, so we didn't get to go to the Harlequins ground because it was too dangerous. So they came to us in Bisham Abbey, so it was fantastic.
Tell us about the New Jersey Select Side.
So I have to give all the credit to Pete Torelli from Monmouth. I got an email from Lansdowne at the start of the year, and I forwarded it to Pete, and I said, Pete, this is a great opportunity for Monmouth to host a club like Lansdowne. It's a few years since we hosted an international team. It was Dungannon was the last one from the north of Ireland. And Pete really took the idea and ran with it. He did all the logistical work. He reached out to all the clubs in New Jersey, reached out to the college players, and he did a spectacular job, and we're putting it together on the pitch today. As a coach, you always love opportunities like this because you really have to coach in the moment, because you don't have weeks of practice beforehand, and your ability to assess players and tryouts and then put them together as a group is always an exciting and challenging experience.
Did you learn anything from your UK experience that you could apply to a team like this?
I think you learn. I think you learn from all of your experiences, and the UK experience. One of the big things about that, and if you were at the tryout last week, you would have seen it. It was a game-based tryout. The boys, there was no lines, there was no doing grids. We played games for an hour, and that's what you want. You want to see the athletes in action with some pressure on them. And it was spectacular. So I would say, I've always been a game-based coach. I would say the experience with the Premiership just pushed it that little bit further. So we always want to have an environment, no matter what we're doing, that's going to be positive. Plus, we're giving the guys a chance to play.
Now we're at Monmouth Rugby's home pitch.
Yeah.
Monmouth has had a history of both hosting clubs, and they've probably gone on 25, 30 tours, including the 79 tour that the Dublin portion that Dick Spring, Irish International, helped set up.
Yeah.
What makes playing against a Lansdowne so special?
I think there's lots of reasons that it's special. The first thing I would say is Lansdowne is Lansdowne Football Club. It's not Lansdowne Rugby Football Club because they exist from before when the Irish Rugby Football Union was set up. So you're talking about a club that has incredible history. Obviously, they're based right beside the international pitch in Lansdowne Road. So you have all that history, you have all that tradition. Whenever we have an opportunity to have cultural exchange within rugby, I think it's really critical, because that's where you get these guys who've, maybe some of them have only ever played rugby in New Jersey, and they're getting a chance to play against internationals who played rugby maybe since they were 4 or 5. So it's going to be a really special experience for them. And what we really want, and we always want, is to stretch the cultural experience and also stretch the rugby experience. So they're going to see players and they're going to see skills that they're not familiar with today.
Now this is Lansdowne's second side, second of 2 games.
Yeah.
They played against Boston Irish Wolfhounds.
Yeah.
Won 28-21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know their first side played New England Free Jacks, and then finish on Saturday against Nyack.
Yeah.
So, real special tour for them.
Yep.
I imagine it's very special for you since you grew up in Dublin.
Yeah, actually, I grew up watching Lansdowne play rugby because my father was a Lansdowne fan. So going back, like Moss Keane and Mick Quinn and players of that caliber were my heroes when I was watching rugby as a kid. I remember being in Castle Avenue, Clontarf's home ground, and Moss Keane, who's a legendary Irish second row, got a cut in the head. And they were the days where he had 15 players. So Mossy came off and the doctor was directly below us. And I was literally this far away. He got his stitches and rolled back on. And that was, they were, for me growing up, having that experience, I learned so much about the what's required to play rugby, and the dedication that's required.
New Jersey, New York, Connecticut has a great deal of support now that there's a professional team in New York. The jerseys were donated by Rugby United New York.
Yeah, absolutely. James Kennedy came on board and he supported this effort.
Okay, you were talking about Rooney's support for the New Jersey Invitational side.
Yeah, so James Kennedy came on board and has supported us with our jerseys and our warm-ups and polos, and has really helped put this together. And it's been a great year for Rooney so far. Chris Sullivan from Monmouth is playing on Rooney. I coached Chris a few years ago. He played for Life before that. He's having a great time up there. And we've had a couple of viewing parties in the Wild Rover to support Chris. I think Monmouth have now had 2 trips out to Coney Island. And it's really great to see the community getting behind Rooney and Rooney getting behind the community. And that's really what we want. And for me, it's going to be exciting over the next few years. I know we had a Xavier, I think, Forum prep game before one of the games. Hopefully we'll have a New Jersey game next spring before one of their games. But that's really what we need. We need the grassroots supporting our professional game and vice versa.
You may also have the Rooney Academy side. There's some talk about them possibly playing the other East Coast professional sides in an academy league.
Yeah, that would be spectacular. Obviously there's a lot of logistics in that, and that's going to cost an amount of money. So I don't know how quickly that could occur. Like, I know when you see the professional sides, like Leinster, they don't just have an academy; they have a sub academy. So when athletes leave high school, they go into the sub academy, then into the academy, and then they graduate out of that into the professional league. That costs money, and in an area like this where they're going to want the best from the whole catchment area. So I could see some real challenges there, but it would be interesting.
Pat, good luck with the selects.
Thank you so much, Doug.
Leinster was a great host, and there's no doubt they'll be hosted well at the Wild Rover tonight.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.